Welcome to another episode of the Retirepreneur Podcast. I'm your host with this week's executive summary for busy entrepreneurs building their second act business. Today's episode is designed for maximum impact in minimum time.
It's great to be here. And honestly, this is the kind of deep dive I wish I'd had maybe 10 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
We're unpacking a framework today that is so specifically tailored for a group that, this standard startup world just kind of ignores.
Right.
We're talking to professionals aged, say, 55 and up.
Yeah, we're not talking about the college dropout in a hoodie trying to disrupt pizza delivery.
No, not at all. We're talking about former executives, directors, senior specialists. I mean, people who have 30, even 40 years of mastery under their belts.
Exactly. People with deep networks, incredible skills, a lifetime of experience. But, and this is the real puzzle we need to start with, why do they struggle?
That's the core tension, isn't it? Despite all those advantages, the data shows this group often has a really hard time getting traction when they try to pivot into entrepreneurship.
It just feels so counterintuitive. You'd think a 3-decade head start would make building a business, easier.
You'd think so. But it's what the team at Retirepreneur calls the tactical trap.
The tactical trap.
And it's funny, it's actually a side effect of being a really competent professional for so long. You're used to execution. You're a doer.
So they jump right into doing.
They jump right in. The first thing they do is try to look like a business.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. They're on LegalZoom, incorporating an LLC.
Yes.
Oh.
Or they're spending 3 weeks debating if their logo should be navy blue or royal blue to convey trust.
Or they get totally obsessed with the tech. Should I use Kajabi? What about Substack? Do I need a funnel?
They're building the plumbing for a house before they've even drawn the blueprints. It feels like work, building a website feels productive.
It's productive procrastination.
It is. You're busy, but you aren't moving the needle an inch. And according to the framework from Kurt Rose, this is the number one reason these second act businesses just fail to launch.
Or they burn out.
Or worse, they launch and the founder just burns out immediately. They're skipping the strategy and jumping straight to the tactics.
Okay, so let's hit the reset button. The solution isn't to work harder on the tactics. It's asking the right questions in the right order.
Right. We're going to walk through the 3 questions that determine second act success.
And the order matters.
The order is absolutely non-negotiable. You can't figure out the how until you have brutally honest answers for the why and the what.
So let's start with that first pillar, the why. And I want to be really clear for everyone listening, this isn't some fluffy find your passion talk.
No. This is about the hard-nosed economic reality of your motivation. It's a crucial distinction. In the general startup world, the advice is always scale, grind, exit.
Right, one size fits all.
But for the 55-plus demographic, motivations are all over the place. The Retirepreneur research breaks it down into 3 very distinct drivers. And if you don't know which one you are, you will build the wrong business.
Okay, so the first one is the most urgent, the income gap.
This is the practical reality for many. Maybe you retired a bit earlier than planned, or inflation ate into your pension, or you just have a gap between your fixed income and your lifestyle.
So for this person, this is not a hobby. They need to replace a salary fast.
Exactly. If you're in the income gap category, you're looking for revenue in, say, 30 to 60 days. You have a mortgage, you have bills, it's a pressure cooker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, contrast that with the second category, which is legacy and impact.
The legacy builder.
Sure.
This person is in a totally different financial universe. The mortgage is paid off. The nest egg is secure.
Right. They're not doing this to keep the lights on. They're doing it because they have something they just need to get out into the world. They have the luxury of time.
You can afford a longer timeline.
A 12-month timeline to build something big is fine because they aren't using their grocery money to do it.
Okay. And the third group.
Activity and purpose. This is the person who needs structure, intellectual stimulation. They want to stay sharp, but flexibility is the absolute priority.
They want to work, but they also want to be able to drop everything and see the grandkids on a Tuesday.
Exactly. And this is where it gets dangerous, the burnout trap. This part of the framework, it really hit me. The number one cause of failure isn't a bad product.
It's a mismatch.
It's a mismatch between your motivation and your model.
Yep.
It's tragic when you see it happen.
So give me an example.
Okay, imagine someone who is squarely in that income gap category. They need, say, $4,000 a month to cover their overhead. They need that cash flow in 60 days.
Right, the clock is ticking.
But they look on LinkedIn, they see what the so-called gurus are doing, and they decide, I'm going to write a book, or I'm going to build a big online course.
Which is classic legacy project.
Exactly. A course or a book is a legacy play. It takes months to build, months to record, months to market. You might work for 6, even 12 months before you see a single dollar of profit.
So you have this person working 60 hours a week, totally stressed out, savings are draining away.
Trying to build this passive income engine that won't pay off for a year, and they burn out. They quit.
Because they picked a slow money vehicle for a fast money problem.
You have to match the business model to your financial reality, not to your ego or what looks good on LinkedIn. If you need cash in 60 days, you cannot afford to play the long game. Not at first.
That's such a critical reality check. We think, I want to be a thought leader, but the bank account is screaming, you need to be a consultant.
That's it. Which leads us perfectly into the second big question. Once you're honest about your why, you have to define your what.
And this is where that psychological wall comes up. Imposter syndrome.
It's fascinating, isn't it? It hits people in their 50s and 60s. You'd think after managing billion-dollar mergers, you'd be confident.
But they sit there and say, I don't really have anything unique to sell. This is all just common sense.
It's the curse of competence. When you're truly excellent at something, it feels easy to you. And because it feels easy, you just assume it's easy for everyone.
You completely undervalue your own asset.
Completely. And the retirepreneur framework, just a total reframe here. You have to stop thinking of your expertise as information.
Because information is cheap.
Information is free. I can go to ChatGPT right now and get information on supply chain logistics in 10 seconds flat. If you try to sell information, you're competing with free.
So if we're not selling information, what are we selling?
You're selling transformation, and you are selling pattern recognition. This brings us to the 50+ times rule. I just love this for its simplicity.
Okay, walk us through that. How does someone listening apply it?
The question you have to ask yourself is this. What specific problem have I solved 50 or more times in my career?
50 times.
Sure.
That implies deep, deep repetition.
It implies mastery. If you've fixed a supply chain bottleneck 50 times or handled a PR crisis 50 times, you have developed an intuition that a generalist just cannot have.
You can walk into a chaotic situation and just see the answer.
Within 5 minutes, you know exactly what's wrong and how to fix it. To the client, that looks like magic.
To the expert, it's just Tuesday.
It's just Tuesday. And that leads to the other metric, the efficiency ratio. What can you explain in 10 minutes that saves someone else 10 months of struggle?
That's what the market pays for.
Yes. They aren't paying for a textbook. They're paying for the shortcut. They are paying to go from a state of frustration to a solved state without all the pain in between.
I think that's so empowering for this audience.
Yeah.
You're not competing with a 25-year-old on who makes the flashiest TikTok video.
No. You are competing on, I've seen this movie 50 times and I know exactly how it ends.
Yeah.
You are selling certainty in uncertain times, and that is a high-ticket commodity.
Okay, so we know our why, our financial motivation.
Yeah.
We've identified our what, our pattern recognition. Now we finally get to the how.
The delivery vehicle. And notice we call them vehicles. They're just mechanisms to deliver the value. They are not your identity.
Right.
And there are really 3 main paths for this group: consulting, coaching, and courses.
Let's break them down by speed to revenue, because I think that's the most practical filter. If I'm in that income gap group, what's my vehicle?
Consulting. Hands down, no question. This is the fast path. If you have deep expertise, let's say you're that supply chain expert, you can land a contract in 30 to 60 days.
And why is it so fast?
Because you're leveraging trust you already have. You're not trying to build a cold audience online. You are reaching out to your existing networks, former colleagues, vendors, partners, and just saying, I solved this specific problem.
And companies are used to paying for that.
The U.S. consulting market is over $300 billion. They're used to writing big checks for specialists.
So the pros are speed and high ticket prices. We're talking $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 projects. What's the downside?
You are absolutely trading time for money. It's a job, really, just one where you're the boss. You have deliverables, you have deadlines. If you stop working, the money stops. There's no leverage.
Got it. Okay, let's move to the middle path. Coaching. How does that differ from consulting in this framework?
Consulting is done for you on a technical problem. Coaching is usually about the person. It's the relationship path. This is for the person who, maybe as a manager, really loved developing their team more than doing the actual technical work.
And the timeline to revenue.
A bit slower, maybe 60 to 90 days. You have to establish a different kind of trust. But the model is beautiful because it's recurring.
Right, not a one-time fee.
Exactly. Instead of a one-time project fee, you're looking at maybe $1,000 to $3,000 a month per client on retainer.
So if you have 5 clients at $2,000 a month, that's a very healthy, predictable $10,000 a month.
Exactly. It stabilizes your cash flow.
Yeah.
But it requires a lot of emotional energy. You're in the trenches with people. You can't just turn in a report and walk away.
Which brings us to the third path, the one everyone seems to be chasing. Courses. The passive income dream.
The leverage path. And this is for the systematic teacher, the person who wants to build something once and sell it 1,000 times. But, and this is a huge warning label, it is the slowest path to revenue.
How slow are we talking?
90 to 180 days, often longer, before you see any real money.
Because you have to build the whole thing first.
You have to build it, record it, build the sales page, write the emails, and then the hardest part, you have to find an audience to sell it to. If you don't have an email list, you are just shouting into the void.
It sounds like massive upfront work.
It is 40 to 80 hours just to create a decent course. But the upside is that leverage. Once it's running, you can sell it while you sleep. It's the ultimate legacy play.
So the magic isn't picking one forever. Kurt shares this great evolution strategy. I call it the CFO example, and this for me was the big aha moment.
This is the smartest way to play it. Imagine a former CFO. She leaves corporate. She's in that income gap category. Does she start by filming a course?
No. She starts with consulting.
She starts by consulting high-end financial restructuring for medium-sized businesses. Boom! Revenue starts flowing in on day 45.
So she's safe. The bills are paid.
Exactly. Now that she's stable, she realizes she really enjoys mentoring the younger finance directors at her client companies.
So she adds a coaching tier.
She adds a coaching tier. I'll jump on a call with your finance director twice a month. Now she has recurring revenue on top of the project fees.
And she's getting paid to refine her methodology.
Precisely. She's spotting the patterns. She sees the same 5 mistakes every new finance director makes. So maybe 18 months in, she takes those patterns and films a course.
Financial strategy for first-time CFOs.
And now she has all 3 engines running. But she built them sequentially, funding each new step with the profit from the one before it.
That is just so much smarter than trying to launch all 3 on day 1.
It lowers the risk to almost zero. You're effectively getting paid to do your market research.
I do want to address the elephant in the room. Or maybe 2 elephants. For people over 55, 2 big objections always come up. I'm too old and I'm not tech savvy.
Okay, let's just kill the too old myth with data. Adults aged 55 to 64 are actually one of the fastest growing segments of entrepreneurs in the U.S.
Why is that? You'd think the energy of a 20-year-old would win.
Energy is great, but judgment is better. In the B2B world, clients don't want a kid guessing with their money. They want the gray hair. They want someone who has seen a recession before. Your age is a massive trust asset.
Okay, but what about the tech part? I don't know how to code. I can't edit video.
The good news is you need exactly 0 coding skills to run a 6-figure consulting or coaching practice today. You need about 3 tools.
Okay, let's list them just so people realize how simple this is.
You need a way to talk to people, so Zoom. You need a way to book appointments without endless emails, so Calendly. And you need a simple way to get paid, like QuickBooks or Stripe. That's really it.
That's manageable. We are not talking about building an app from scratch here.
No. And the cost barrier is basically gone. You can run that tech stack for under $100 a month. Even if you go the course route with a platform like Teachable, you're looking at maybe $150 to $300 a month. The barrier to entry has never been lower.
There is one specialized financial question that comes up, though. Social Security. If I start making money, does it mess up my benefits?
It's a valid concern. If you are collecting Social Security before your full retirement age, yes, there is an earnings limit. It's around $21,000 right now.
And if you earn over that?
They withhold some benefits. However, and this is the key part, once you reach your full retirement age, that limit completely vanishes. You can earn $1 million a year and collect your full Social Security check.
So it's just about timing and knowing your status.
That's it. Don't let it stop you. Just plan for it.
So let's bring this all back together. If someone is listening and feeling stuck, maybe spinning their wheels, what's the executive summary here?
It all comes back to the sequence. If you are stuck, it is almost certainly because you skipped one of the 3 questions.
Step 1, the why.
Be honest about your money. Do you need an income bridge now? If the answer is yes, kill the vanity projects. Put the book idea on the shelf for 6 months and go sell your time.
Step 2, The what?
Stop looking for new ideas. Look backwards. Find the problem you've solved 50 times. That is your product. Package that transformation.
And step 3, the how.
Pick the vehicle that fits the timeline. Consulting for speed, coaching for stability, courses for leverage. And remember that CFO example, you can and probably should do all 3 eventually, but you start with the one that solves your most immediate problem.
That clarity really does remove the friction. When you know you're building a consulting practice to solve a cash flow gap using your supply chain expertise, you don't need to worry about TikTok.
No, you just need to call 5 old colleagues. Business becomes simple again. It's just offering help to people who need it in a format they can use.
Before we wrap, what's the one final thought or mindset shift that needs to happen for our listeners?
I think the biggest shift is realizing that your shelf life hasn't expired. In the corporate world, there's this subtle message that past 55, you're winding down. But in the entrepreneurship world, you are just arriving. You have the one thing the market is desperate for: wisdom. The market is noisy and chaotic. It is craving the stability and judgment that you have. The only thing stopping you is the belief that you need permission to sell it. You don't. You just need to package it.
That's your executive briefing for this week. If you found value in these insights, share this episode with fellow retirepreneurs and subscribe to the Retirepreneur newsletter at retirepreneur.com. Follow us for weekly strategic insights, and remember, your most successful chapter is just beginning. Until next week, keep building.